Yeah.
Hi, Shalom.
Shalom.
It's the Jim New Orleans camp, or live second camp. All right, before we get started, I want to give infinite honors and praises to
Yahweh
Yahweh.
Hashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Kakadash.
Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect. All right, and to start off, this camp, we just going to speak about how the Lord has blinded, our people, from understanding this truth, understanding, seeing what's right in front of them, okay, and but not being able to actually understand it, hearing it and not being having ears and not being able to hear, having eyes and not being able to see. All right, but you can start off with that. Second Corinthians.
This second Corinthians 4:3. It says, but if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost.
Kind of, if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, right? And what's that gospel? The good news, this good word, the truth, right? It says it is hid to them that are lost. It's hid from these people. The brother will get it where it speaks about unto you the mysteries, was given. Roughly paraphrase with Salakia, right? It says, but it is hid to, but if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost. These people are lost. They're in a deep slumber, right? And you can get that word lost too. Because, okay,
This the word.
if you got it in the NLT, you can read it in the NLT.
This 2 Corinthians 4:3 in the NLT, it says, if the good news we preach is hidden behind a veil, it is hidden only from people who are perishing.
Those people are set, for destruction. Because everybody not gonna get this truth. This truth, only the elect are gonna get it. Only they're gonna understand it. That's what the salvation is for. The rest of these people out here, 2/3 of our people, they're gonna perish on this side because they were set up from the foundation of the earth that they weren't gonna get it. The truth is that we were lost to.
This their word lost. In the Strong's, is G 622. It says in the outline of biblical uses, it says to destroy, to put out of the way entirely.
Yeah, so they were set for destruction and get destroyed on the side. All right, but you keep on verse 4.
Verse 4, it says, in whom the Most High of this world had blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Hamashiach, who is the image of the Most High, should shine upon them, unto them.
I just wanted to say, probably say, God, because the God is, is just speaking on the God of this world, which is basically, Esau, Edom. So people don't get it confused and say the Most High of this world.
Yeah, the power of this world.
Yeah, the power.
Real quick, we go into that. That's the word of God.
Yeah,
it's power.
Yeah, it's lowercase.
So the power of this world, like the brother said, Esau, Edom.
I'm just reading it again. It says, in whom the God of this world had blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Hamashiach, who is the image of the Most High, should shine unto them.
Yeah, so they've been blinded, and that's why they can't see or hear. You can get that in Matthew 2, where it says, one of you over Matthew 11, 17, you got it?
Yeah. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 11, verse 17. It says, in his red letters, Yahushua speaking, it says, and saying, we have piped unto you, and ye have not danced. We have mourned unto you, and ye have not lamented.
Yeah, we have piped unto you, and ye have not danced, right? Because this song that we singing, that's the good gospel, that's the good news. All right, but it's saying what they didn't dance. They didn't. This song to them, it just sounded like brass and metal, hitting each other. They don't get, the real the tune of this song. You can keep going.
Con.
I think that's it. That's it on there. Hebrew church,
Hey.
Matthew.
But if I could say real quick, because like the song that we're singing, right, is like the song of Moses, the destruction of this place, all right, and the kingdom come. But they want this place to actually continue, right? So you playing a trumpet, all right, you playing a tune. All of our tunes, our instruments are fine tuned, you know. But when you look at the people of the world, right, who want this place to continue, when they hear it, you know, they just hearing, you know, it's like loud instruments, right? They like, oh man, just turn that off, you know. That's us piping and for you to dance to it, you know, which is all symbolic, you know. I got a quick precept to back that up real fast. There's Revelation chapter 14, verse 2. It says, and I heard a voice from heaven as the voice of many waters, and as the voice of a great thunder. And I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps. And they sung as it were a new song before the throne and before the four beasts and the elders. And no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth. Got it?
And that's the elect, right? They're the only ones, that's gonna hear that song, right, and know it and learn it, right? These other people, right, our 2/3 of our people, you know, if you're not of the elect, you ain't gonna get it, right? You ain't gonna get that song because it's ultimately not for you, right? The people of this world, our people, they want to stay here. They want to build a reputation and a life, in America. So that's why they're gonna get destroyed with it, right?
Right, I just want to add on. Oh, okay, Con, you
Make a
go
point.
ahead. Now go ahead and finish. You go ahead and finish.
Okay. This verse 4, it says, these are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits of our power and to the Lamb. And in their mouth was found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of the Most High.
And look, I got you to read down because it's giving you an understanding of what consists of that song, right? The importance of that song, right? It says, because obviously we understand that, we have all committed sin that is, basically worthy of death. But it's saying that, basically we're gonna be redeemed through this song, man. Right? And it said in verse 3 that no man can learn it. Okay, so it ultimately has to be given, right, through the power and spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. And I wanted to say this too because it says, these are they which are not defiled with women, right, for their virgins, which that's not talking about actual virgins nor actual women. That's going into doctrine, philosophy, okay, the things of this world in which, defiles men, right? Ultimately returning back unto our power, okay? That's how you get that song, but only the elect gonna have it.
And if I could say too, because because it said the virgin, and 2/3 of our people has been penetrated by Esau, right? But not the elect. Right? That's why we came back to the Father. I think Amawai said something about it a week or two ago, about how because the men of the Lord, we sigh and cry. Right? So we like that comely and delicate woman, that sighing and crying, Esau trying to what? He trying to seize us, right? But we sighing and crying, but 2/3 of our people, they just gave themselves over to him, right? So they're not, they're not virgins, they're not pure, right? They're not innocent.
Just the back.
Get that Matthew.
Yeah, I want to not back off the song.
No, go ahead.
Real quick, just furthermore pushing in the point, our people, they are complacent on being here in this place. All right, and part of that song is wanting again to get the hell out of here and look for the things of our kingdom, which is dominion. Okay, but just to furthermore push the Psalms 149, I'm gonna get to the point of what the song, sounds like. Psalms 149:5 is straight to the point. That the saints be joyful and glory, let them sing aloud upon their beds, that the high praises of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua be in their mouth, a two-edged sword in their hand, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron, to execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all his saints. Praise ye the Lord Yahweh. All right, and that's the separation. That's the different mindset of the hopeful elect. You know, hearing this song, and that's music to our ears, to see that we're going to bind these damn devils and be back on top of things. All right, but our people listening to that what was that cartoon with the one. No, the
Charlie Brown or something? Talking about Snoopy, whatever that is.
Charlie Brown. Yeah. When they can't understand the grown ups and shit like that. That's what 2/3 of the people hear. They don't hear this beautiful song that's being played about Israel being back on top. But you got it, bro.
This is Matthew 13 and verse 9. It says, "Who have ears to hear, let him hear." And the disciples came and said unto him, "Why speakest thou unto them in parables?"
Yeah, so the disciples was asking Yahushua, all right, why are you speaking to these people in parables? Right? Keep going.
Verse 11, he answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given.
Right, so he spoke those parables to the ones, to everybody, but he meant, for the ones who were supposed to get it, right? But he filtered it out, right? That's why he said it in parables, right? Because it wasn't for, 2/3 of our people, the unbelievers, to get it. It was only for them, those of that number to get it.
I got that word for you, mystery.
Come, you
You want to finish on that? You get it. This is the Strong's G3466 Mysterion. Get straight to it. On it says hidden thing, secret mystery, a hidden or secret thing not obvious to the understanding, a secret will of men, the secret counsel which govern Yahweh Shem Shai in dealing with the righteous, which are hidden from ungodly and wicked men, but plain to the godly.
Come, it says, given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. Right, so the secrets, right? The nationality of these different nations, our nationality, right? Even the name of the Lord is a secret, right? People don't know that, right? The men of the Lord know it.
Furthermore, the breakdowns too.
The breakdowns,
The Daniels, the Revelations. When we, as we came up through through the years, hey, that's some real deep history, right? That is being revealed unto us.
History, reincarnation, and then the list just keep going on and on, right? You go ahead, verse 12.
Verse 12, it says, "For whosoever to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. But whosoever have not, from him shall be taken away, even that he hath." It says, "Therefore speak I to them in parables, because they see not, and hearing they hear not, neither do they understand."
So Yahushua, he was saying, right? But they couldn't get it, right? They couldn't dance. They couldn't understand the tune of the song Yahushua was singing, right? Keep going.
"And in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, which saith, By hearing ye shall hear, and shall not understand, and seeing ye shall see, and shall not perceive."
You can get that Isaiah 28.
Yeah, that's Isaiah. Where you want to start at? The 29?
Isaiah 28. It should be Isaiah 28 and like 7.
And 7. Yeah, this Isaiah 28 and 7. It says, "But they also have heard through wine and through strong drink are out of the way. The priest and the prophet have heard through strong drink. They are swallowed up of wine. They are out of the way through strong drink, and have heard in vision. They stumble in judgment."
Yeah, because they was polluted by these different doctrines and philosophies. Keep going.
God, it says, verse 8, it says, "For all tables are full of vomit and filthiness, so that there is no place clean."
All tables are full of vomit and filthiness, right? So your tables represents what you consume, what you eat, right? Yahweh Shai said, "What eat of me." That's this word, this truth. Eating of Him. That's that's what we that's part of this gospel, this song. You keep going.
Verse 9 it says, "Whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast.
Keep going.
For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little."
And that verse 10, that's a stumbling block in itself, right? Because you got these people in the world who think, man, when I read the Bible, I read it from Genesis all the way down to Revelation in order. I read the whole Bible. I could tell you all about it. But there's no understanding in that because the scripture just said what? Precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little, right? You got precepts from Genesis that go way over to Revelation and so on and so forth, right? But keep going, bro.
It says, verse 11, "For with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people, to whom he said, this is the rest wherewith ye may cause the weary to rest, and this is the refreshing that yet they would not hear."
I think that was pretty much the point.
Yeah, that's pretty much the point.
Con.
I want to jump over to 29 and 9, if I could, brother.
Yeah, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
This Isaiah 29 and 9, it says, "Stay yourselves and wander. Cry ye out and cry. They are drunken, but not with wine. They stagger, but not with strong drink. For the Lord hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep, and hath closed your eyes. The prophets and your rulers, the seers, hath he covered."
Read it one more time, bro.
Con. Isaiah 29 and 9, it says, "Stay yourselves and wander. Cry ye out and cry. They are drunken, but not with wine. They stagger, but not with strong drink. For the Lord hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep, and hath closed your eyes. The prophets and your rulers, the seers, hath he covered."
That spirit of deep sleep, like that deep, that deep slumber the nation of our people are in, right? They don't know our nationality. Right? They don't know who their oppressor is, and if they do know, right, they don't care because we got that Stockholm syndrome, right? Well, you just love your oppressor. You just love to be oppressed, right? You got more.
I got more. Yeah. Verse 11, it says, "And the vision of all is become unto you as the words of a book that is sealed, which men deliver to one that is learned, saying, Read this, I pray thee. And he said, I cannot, for it is sealed. The book is delivered to him that is not learned, saying, Read this, I pray thee. And he said, I am not learned." All right, and ultimately, that's what Yahweh Shai accomplished for us, to unseal the book and for us to even learn this new song, okay? Which is how you say it? It's a reference to this truth, okay? But it said you basically have to get taught this as well, man. You got to get taught this song. You can't just get this book to somebody and expect them to understand Revelations, like I said, or Daniel's, Ezekiel. They'll never understand it. They'll never get it. But you got it.
You can't just pick it up yourself and just think you can just read it and you gonna know exactly what's going on, right?
I just want to say something. Even within Isaiah the 28th chapter, when you keep reading, even the people that know the precepts, they say that the precepts will fall. Basically, they will fall backward from the precepts, right? So it's even people that have at least the understanding that, hey, this precept means command. I know how to try to navigate through the truth. But still, if the Lord doesn't give you the song or the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding or the prophets, you'll still fall.
If I can add to you, brother, because again, there's many avenues to it. Who would have ever thought that this book right here, in order to know some of the things, you had to really pay attention to history. You had to know about all of the things with the Roman Empire, with the Greeks, and so on and so forth. If you point this in front of somebody, some people still see this as a fairy tale book or just a book that you need to live by. but it has way more information and, you know, many things that you have to do in order to receive that information. You gotta go.
You can hear what
Come, this is Romans 11 and verse 7, and it says, "What then? Israel has not attained that which he seeketh for, but the election has obtained it, and the rest were blinded. According to, as it is written, the Most High has given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that they should not see, and ears that they should not hear, unto this day." And you know, it's pretty much showing that, you know, only certain people is able to get this. You know what I'm saying? Showing that it was for the election to get this, and the rest were blinded. And with them who didn't get it, you know, they had that spirit of slumber upon them. And then if I read on down 2 more verses, it showed that David even put a curse upon him. And it says, "And David said, let that table."
Hey, and that's what I thought of when I wanted when I called for that Isaiah 28, like, because it talked about that table. It was full of filthiness and vomit. But it says right here that David prayed for that table to be a snare. Go ahead. Start
In Psalm 69.
David 22.
When David prayed for that table. Because just like we are, you know, we have enemies of our own nation, right? And that's why David prayed to put a curse on his people, because, you know, they was seeking to kill him, right? Stoning him. What was it? Embarrassing him. Even though he understood that it was a judgment from Yahweh Bashem Shai, right? It still was like, man, you know, I hate these niggas, man.
Right.
That's why he said, I hate thee, oh Lord, I hate them with a perfect hatred.
Because he still, even though he went off, he still was righteous.
Yeah.
Right? He still was a follower of the Lord. Like, the people was just wicked.
King David was a man from Most High heart. So even though he fell down, you know what I'm saying, he got back up. He realized what he did. 2/3 don't realize what he doing. He keep falling in that pit of wickedness and keeping those, man.
He fell to the flesh, you know, which was the story of Israel, pretty much, you know. Ever since the transgressions of Adam and Eve, you know, it's been a chain reaction of many great men falling from the flesh.
And the scriptures also speak about that. Proverbs 24 and 16. Ecclesiastes 7 and 20. Right? You know, we gonna fall. But not to get off the topic. I'm about going to that. But you can keep going with that, bro. You had something?
Yeah.
You keep
You
going.
speak. Yeah, before I keep on
Who's
reading.
top? You wanted that, Isaiah? Not Isaiah. Psalm.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
But before, I keep on reading on down, I want to get that word election, and it goes into eclogate, and outline biblical usage, and it says the act of picking out, choosing. It says of the act of the Most High's free will, by which before the foundation of the world he decreed his blessings to certain persons.
And that was the balance of it, right? Because he chose people he wanted to get it, and he also chose people he didn't want to get it, that he wanted to blind, right? But that was the balance of it. But you keep going, bro.
This is verse 9 in that Romans.
No, after you finish Bible chat, you can jump to 9-6, Romans 9-6 after that.
Romans 96.
Yeah, after you finish.
This is Romans 11 verse 9, and it says, "And David said, let their table be made a snare and a trap and a stumbling block and a recompense unto them. Let their eyes be darkened that they may not see, and bow down their back always." Always.
Yeah. So this truth, you know, these mysteries and secrets, when we bring it out, to these people, they're stumbling blocks. That's why they can't understand. But the Lord had it set up that way intentionally, right? Because they're not of the first fruits. They're not true friends of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. They're enemies, right? John 8:44 says you're your father the devil. These people are friends of Esau. Like I mentioned earlier, spiritually, Esau have penetrated, 2/3 of our people, right? So they're not gonna get it. It's not meant for them to get it. They're gonna be destroyed with him. Since y'all won't be his woman, y'all gonna be destroyed with him, right? But you don't gotta get that Psalm 69. You want it?
Yeah, the Romans 9-6. You go back and work.
This is Romans 9:6, and it says, "Not as though the word of the Most High has taken none effect. for they are not all Israel which are of Israel.
And just to back the brother up, and also backing up the precept you brought out earlier of it being here a little, there a little, precept upon precept, you know, in order to know why there's a stumbling block in front of our people, you have to go back 2 chapters to get the answer to it, to see that all Israel is not of Israel. The Lord is only dealing with one third, you know, the hopeful elect of our people. All right, and that explains, you know, what you're going into. That's why 2/3 of our people are blinded.
Back this brother up, yeah. The elect is basically Israel the Most High. 2/3 of our people, they just completely lost. They don't get it. And what they do from every time we come out, stop, they mock. They said we don't know what we talking about. These niggas dress funny. Come on now, man. This song only appealing to the elect. Only elect will hear the song and draw near. 2/3 will hiss at it, curse, say all type of wicked things, what you're seeing right now these last days.
And it also says, for they are not all Israel, which are Israel, because 2/3 of our people, they Israelites by blood, through lineage, but spiritually, you're not an Israelite, right? But the men of the Lord up, spiritually, we're Israelites, right? You know, we've been called back to our inheritance, our heritage, the name of the Heavenly Father, right? We didn't just come from the line of Israel, we're of, you know, Israelite essence, right?
I wanted to say, you know, most of the 2/3, they pretty much love Esau and how this world is being running. And like I said in the scriptures, you know, anyone that loves the world, you know, this enmity. Yeah.
This is James 4:4. It says, "Ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that friendship of the world is enmity with Yahweh Shem Yahushua? Whosoever therefore would be a friend of the world is an enemy of Yahweh Shem Yahushua."
And that's what most of these 2/3 are. You know, everything that's about this world, everything that's going on for it, what Esau push and do. You know, even though they say I don't like that, they still with it because they do that on a daily basis. They've been corrupted so long that this is like they gone for them. You know, and that's the reason why they're enemies to the Most High. That's why they mock. That's why they scoff. You know, that's why they say all these things to us. You know, that's why they look at us like we believe them. But the whole time they really believe us.
If I could back you up, you know, one of my favorite sayings that I heard from the brother Kayak, you know, you permit what you promote. You know, you promote what you permit what you promote. It goes, you know, both ways. So we don't condone nothing that's going on around here. So therefore, we are enemies of this world. All right, but they permit everything that's going on in this world, so they are enemies of Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
Right. Basically, you can't be the middle guy. You
Right.
can't be the guy to say, well, I'm not for it, but I'm not really against it either. Just don't bring it my way.
Right? Pick a
You
side.
know,
Yeah,
you have to choose a side.
The scriptures speak about being hot and cold.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, that's like the Most High is giving us permission. Saying, all right, y'all have permission to do this one wicked thing, you know, but y'all don't have to do it, but y'all have permission to do it. But I'm not with it, but y'all got permission to do it, and it's wicked. But I ain't with it though. But I'm gonna give y'all permission. That don't make no sense. It's either or, man.
And in the end, it's still promoting it. You know, no matter how you put it, no matter how you try to, you know, bring it together.
Whether it's directly or indirectly.
Yeah, indirectly. Like you still promoting it because you saying, look, they could do that, but don't bring that near me. It's like, no, y'all shouldn't be doing that. I don't think y'all should be doing it. Like, stop that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just like with the situation that happened with Boosie. He was speaking on the alphabet community and shit like that. At first, he was against it, and then once the internet and everybody, he got canceled. Everybody got on his ass. He tried to retract, what he was saying, and he was saying like, I love them people, that community of people, and this and that. But he ain't it. But but what you permit, you promote. So if you okay with that being like that, then you will become that too. You want to say something, bro?
Yeah, because that's what our law, the portion of our law is about, right? Not basically permitting those things, all right? When you go into the law about rape, you go into the law about theft, adultery, right? These things are put in place, right? And most of them that I just said, except for death, those other two are punishable by death. Right? It's a part of our customs, right, to uphold justice. Right, when you start to see things happening in that sort of fashion, right, sodomy, all of those things, right? You put them to death, right? And that's you want to say something? I wanted to prove too. I wanted to say that just like, a cancer or a bad sore, I'm gonna say the C word. It's like poison. Yeah, like a poison. If you have a poison or an ailment, you'll try to get rid of it as soon as possible before it spreads and corrupts the rest of the body. And when you read, after you read those laws, it tell you, that you're preventing that specific poison to keep going in Israel. Yeah, it's when you say, oh, they could do that, but I'm not with that. You're allowing this poison to spread. You need to nip it at the bud. That's where that term come from. Go ahead.
Time, if I can make a point, right? Case in point, we was given the commandments to be fruitful and multiply. All right, now when you say it's okay to do the same gender thing, all right, because you can't say the fucking word, whatever. When you say that, indirectly you're saying to not be fruitful and multiply. Because look what they happened now. As time went on, generations and generations and generations, that has became way more prominent in Israel, right? So think about if generations and generations and generations was to pass again, it would only become worse. At some point, our line to be finished, right? Because if everybody become a moat, how we gonna procreate, right?
Yeah, honestly, I don't even think it'll take that many generations. Really, about 2 more. If it keep going the way it's going, there won't be no more generations.
I'm just saying, though, over time, that's what happens when you. Matter of fact, get that, because it's going back up with my see. I'm about to come back to you, though.
This 1 Thessalonians 5:22. It says, abstain from all appearance of evil.
Yeah, so even the little thing, any small, if it could be, something that can cause you to err or to go off, abstain from it. I rebuke it, reprove it, right? Anything, all appearance of evil, right? The scripture say, what it say about he that can timid, little
Either
things.
consider little things or should fall. Small things.
Yes, over time, those things will cause our nation to fall. All right?
Yeah, this to kind of back up what you were saying earlier. This for you too, huh? You heard me? This for you. This Revelations chapter 18 and 4. It says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh has remembered her iniquities. You got it.
Come. It says, come out of her, my people. Because spiritually, before we get, translated, to the chariots, because we're gonna physically come out of this place. All right, but first we gotta depart spiritually, right? At least we'll be destroyed with this place. All right. And here they have nothing but what's promoted: sodomy, adultery, all these. It's just wickedness, right? So spiritually, we gotta depart, right, in order to be able to make it on the chariots, physically, the physical part.
And the reason why I brought that precept out because it says, "Be ye not partakers." Right? Because ultimately, what you brought out, Bayan, that quote from the brother, what you promote. Permitting and promoting is going to get these same people, that ultimate judgment. They won't. It say, what it said? It says the Lord had remembered her iniquities. So the Lord gonna remember all of those who, is permitting these certain wicked acts to go down. He gonna remember their iniquities too. That's why it's important, like that we had this song to come back into our power and basically, like I said, come out of her. But you got
because when you promote it, you basically telling your neighbor, which is your Israelite, brother or whoever, another Israelite, you could do this, wickedness, right? So, that's the whole point.
this what you permit, you promote. Just a regular AI overview. It says is a leadership principle, meaning that by allowing certain behaviors, even small ones, you signal they are acceptable, thereby encouraging them and shaping a negative or mediocre culture. It says leaders
And those things, make our, the culture of the Israelites negative. Because we live by the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So when you allow those things to, when you promote it to be acceptable, you just spread wickedness throughout Israel. Alright, you got more?
Yeah. It says leaders must actively address issues to maintain high standards.
Yeah.
As inaction is seen as acceptable.
Last thing I'm gonna say too, brother, because a lot of times these people permit these things, which we clearly have broken it down that these things are promoted when you permit them. They don't believe that there's a consequence behind letting things slide, right? They don't believe it's a consequence. If they knew it was a consequence from letting these things slide, then they wouldn't do it.
Right.
You see? But that was that last thing I wanted to say on that. You got it.
I got something back here. Go ahead. What you said, us coming out to play spiritually. This is the book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted, it shall destroy you even with the sword destruction.
Right, it's polluted. Right? You gotta rise and depart spiritually. Right? Or else we'll be consumed by the pollution of this, this wicked kingdom. Right? The world we in, if it's full of wickedness and we stay here spiritually, we just gonna become wicked, gross wicked with it. It's like, that C word. It just spreads, man. Alright?
Just for you. Since you said that. Matthew 24:22. And except those days be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened.
Come on, get Isaiah 1 and 9. Come on, read it again, bro. Read it again.
God. Matthew 24:22, it says, and except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened.
God, right? And what you just read, the Revelation 18 and 5, right? The sands of this place is reaching to the heavens. Right? So if this kingdom was to continue and to keep going, we'd all be consumed. Even the elect. That's why we gotta get out of here. Right? The Lord is making a speedy riddance of this place also for the elect's sake. Right? Because we'd be destroyed with it. Having this knowledge and knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, we know that the world is strong. Right? So that's why we gotta, keep our faith strong. Right? Keep this hedge tight that we have. But you could bring it out.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 1, verse 9. Except the Lord of hosts had left unto us a very small remnant, we should have been at Sodom, and we should have been like unto Gomorrah.
And that's saying the same thing that the Matthew, 24 and 22 said, right? Because it's for the elect's sake. Now imagine if the Lord didn't leave us that small remnant of the elect. The nation of Israel would be at Sodom and Gomorrah. What was Sodom, prominent for? Sodom, Moism, and it ultimately was what? Consumed and destroyed. So Israel would have waxed worse and worse and then just been cut off. If the Lord didn't leave that the elect, the small remnant, man. Go ahead.
This is Isaiah 30, starting at verse 8. Now go write it before them in the table, and note it in the book, that it may be for the time to come, forever and ever, that this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of the Lord, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophet, prophesy not unto us right things, but speak to us smooth things, prophesy deceit. Get thee out of the way, turn aside out of the path, cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. Wherefore thus says the Holy One of Israel, because ye have despised my word, and trusted in oppression and perversion, and stay thereon, therefore this iniquity shall be unto you as a breach, ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly and in an instant. Come. And that just shows you, even in ancient times, our people have been rebellious against this word. They didn't want to hear the laws of Yahweh Ba'ashim Hawashai or do them. So now, in this time, in the end of days, that breach of them not wanting to hear the word, not wanting to come back to who they too long, gonna lead to their destruction. But you got it all.
This got a quick precept out of First Corinthians, the 5th chapter, in verse 1. It says, "It is." I'm gonna jump to verse 6 and 7. It says, "It is reported commonly that there is fornication among you, and such fornication as not so much as named among the Gentiles, that one should have his father's wife."
So just like, our brothers are going into, basically, Paul is going to go into how we need to basically remove a cancer from out of our, basically an ailment, an ailment from out of, Israel, so to speak, okay?
And it says, "And ye are puffed up, and have not rather mourned that he that have done this deed might be taken away from among you."
So they knew about what was going on, and they allowed it to happen, right?
Okay, but I'm gonna jump to the point. There's verse 6. It says, "Your glorying is not good. Know ye not that a little leaven leaven the whole lump?"
Right. So these things, these wicked actions, they was allowed, they were permitting to go on. He said, that's not good, man. You say, okay, none of y'all are doing it, but this one guy that did it, he gotta go,
In verse 7, it says, "Purge out therefore the old leaven, that ye may be a new lump, as ye are unleavened. For even Hamashiach, our Passover, is sacrificed for us."
So basically, long story short, right? That guy that was committing the wicked acts, doing the wicked deeds, okay, like I said, he has to go, man. You know about it, okay, this is your correction, okay? Even if it's just him, he gotta go. Because if you don't do it, you're allowing it, and it's gonna spread like leaven,
Damn, I was just about to oh, yeah, because think about when you have an ailment, right? You get an ailment, and then you don't take the necessary precautions to address that ailment. What happens? It spreads, right? And then what? You just get Isaiah 1, and you can start from 1, right? Because it talks about how the whole head of Israel is sick, right? Because that ailment, it just waxed worse over time. It became worse and worse.
Yeah, I just want to say something, and I know we can't say the word, but the C word or whatever, that's why Esau does what he does. When you go get treated for the C word, right? He performs something called a biopsy, okay, which is an incision on that C or the T word. I'll say that, okay. And what it does is, which most people don't know, is it spreads the ailment throughout the body. Is they open it up and say, hey, look, now we know what it is, okay? And we know how to treat. But when you go back for treatment, it doesn't spread everywhere all over the body. But he knows that, okay? Which further makes him the devil. But I just wanted to make that point.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 1, from the top. It says, the vision of Isaiah, the son of Isaiah 1:1. It says, the vision of Isaiah, the son of Amos, which he saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem in the days of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz and Hezekiah, king of Judah, hearing, O heavens, give ear, O earth, for the Lord had spoken. I have nourished and brought up the children, and they have rebelled against me.
Kind of back up the precept that brother Azori brought out. Keep going.
The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel does not know, my people does not consider.
And these two animals are some of the most stubborn animals on the planet Earth, right? And even they know like who their master is. But it says Israel, my people don't know, they don't consider, right? Showing you how obstinate and stiff-necked the nation of Israel was. Keep going, bro.
Verse 4, it says, a sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken the Lord. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They have gone away backwards. Why should ye be stricken any more? Ye will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick, and the whole heart is faint.
So over time, this wickedness amongst the children of Israel, all it did was spread, starting with on down from Adam, right? It just spread, and just got worse, right? And it lead up to today, because today we're in the worst captivity that we ever been in. In this captivity, we the furthest from our power that we have ever been, right? We don't know the Lord's name. We don't know what our duty is. What we're here for. Our people just out of it, right? But that was the point. That was pretty much the point. You can read verse 6.
Verse 6, it says, from the sole of the foot even unto the head, there is no soundness in it, but wounds and bruises and putrefying sores. They have not been closed, neither bound up, neither modified with ointment.
So that's what happens when you get a small ailment, and you don't treat it, you don't cast it away, you don't put it out. You get putrefying sores, and then you become fully consumed with that, whatever that sickness is.
It's Sirach 10:10, and it reads, it says, the physician cut it off alone disease, and he that is king today, so like he that is king today, a king tomorrow shall die.
Read that first.
It says, the physician cut it off alone disease.
The physician cut it off alone what? A disease, right? And that ultimate physician is Yahweh Shai, right? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And that's why the elect, has this word, because he's using us to cut off that long disease, because we're coming in the name of him, right? So if it, like I said, if what about the left a small remnant, the elect, if he didn't leave that small remnant, we'll get at Sodom and Gomorrah, right? So Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is using the men of the Lord, the men that has this gospel, to attack that, that sickness amongst our people. And that's how our nation gonna be preserved, right? Because through that, they're gonna get salvation, and we're gonna bring back the rest of our people, 2/3 of our people, and then we're gonna live forever, right?
Right, because ultimately what the Lord did for us was basically gave us spiritual healing, right? And we needed that, okay? Now the ultimate healing is gonna be when we basically, get beamed up, Lord willing, we be at that number, obviously, when we receive new bodies. But the rest of the nation is still, completely putrefied, completely sored out, okay? They're completely messed up in the mind, man, spiritually, man,
The background of this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 4, verse 22. For my people is foolish, they have not known me. They are silent children, and they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge. Yeah, when you go to the word stylish, it means stupid. And that's 2/3 of our people, which is is stupid. You know what I'm saying? They love to do evil. They love to do wickedness. This word, which we bring out every day, brothers make video epistles, we come in the house and byways. They don't understand it. They call us actually stupid that we know what we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? And y'all are the disease, y'all are the problem. That's why pursuing Zechariah 13:8, 2/3 will be cut off and die. Let me just say it, excuse my language, y'all. 2/3 gotta fucking go. They have to go, man. They got it, they have to, man. And these moles, they gotta go too. I know all brothers can speak for them, man. It's just disgusting seeing this, man.
Hey, don't the scriptures speak about the effeminate men?
Oh yeah,
See how they get in the kingdom of heaven.
Con, somebody gotta get that.
Okay.
Since you got that,
I got the
13.
right there.
Yeah.
This is Zechariah 13, and I'm gonna start at verse 7. It says, "Awake, O sword, against my shepherd, and against the man that is my fellow, saith the Lord of hosts. Smite the shepherd, and the sheep shall be scattered, and I will turn mine hand upon the little ones." Verse 8, "And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein."
and what's that 2 parts? That's 2/3 of our people, 2/3 of the nation of Israel. So that's 2/3 of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, right? But the sickness is within them, and that's why they got to be cut off. And that's ultimately why the Lord gonna destroy them with fire. Ultimately, to completely purge out that sickness, right?
Hey, going back to the Isaiah, it said the whole head was sick. So even us too, we was sick
We
too.
was sick.
Yeah.
We got healed by Yahushua, which that's why I brought out that Sirach 10:10. Right, he healed us first, man.
Yeah, all of Israel was touched, right? But only some of us was healed. All right, so the people who are healed, they're gonna be preserved, and it's gonna say in that verse 9, they're gonna be brought through the fire, and purified. But the 2/3 of our people, they gotta get cut off, right? Yeah.
Right, verse 9, and it says, "And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my power."
So those that were healed, they're gonna be pure, innocent. Man, what that was, we went over Revelation 2, we talked about the white stone.
Yeah,
right?
white stone.
Right? That purity, right?
Right, and that goes into a spiritual victory, right? You've been given a spiritual pardon away from basically the second death. Okay.
Because we've been fully cleansed and purified, unlike 2/3 of our people, and that's why they got to be destroyed by that fire. But the Lord gonna bring His men, right? The men who serve Him, the righteous, the innocent, right? He's gonna refine them and purify them. All right, so we're gonna be preserved, right? That was it on that, right?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, it's
Real quick, this is Sirach 30:17. It says, "Death is better than a bitter life or a continual sickness." And I bring that out, to be twofold. Obviously, if somebody on their deathbed, they're dealing with an ailment and they're sick, damn near a vegetable, can't move, it's better to die. But even in the instance of our people being sick, with these philosophies, all right? So if they're not going to be healed, by the physician, by Yahweh, by Shem Yahushua, just put them to death. That's better than continuing in this hellhole that we're in, along with these wicked ass doctors.
And that's how you know the Lord had mercy on the whole nation of Israel also. All right, the ones who ain't act right, they just gonna get the worst end of the stick when it comes down to judgment. Right? That's why they gotta be punished so harshly and destroyed. But that still was an act of mercy. Right? The fucked up thing to do would be to let this go on forever. Right? But He's putting our people out of their misery.
Even let alone, the Lord could have just completely stopped dealing with us. He could have chosen another nation to be on top.
Right.
But even with the shit that we didn't, put upon ourselves and continue to do, the Lord will still continue to have mercy All right, like you said, having a mercy kill, that's a mercy kill that he's done for 2/3 of our people. You know, for them to eventually get the kingdom. You know.
Right, just to add on to what you were saying, the Lord even said that if he had chosen another nation, they would have been repentant,
Right.
you know, and done all the works. But that goes back into what our people being, you know, stiff-necked, you know, hard-headed, and what that brother was saying, just sottish, foolish. Foolish means stupid too, you know, people, man.
Yeah, if, you know, Israel is likened unto a comely and delicate woman. You know, we just been throughout history, we just was being a end to the Most High. Like that's basically what it sums up to.
Yeah.
You know.
This is Jeremiah 5, starting at 21. And it says, "Hear now this, O foolish people, and without understanding, which have eyes and see not, which have ears and hear not, fear ye not me, said Yahweh."
Right, because at the end of the day, the Lord is the ultimate power, man. It says, "Fear ye not me." He said, you know, do you know what type of power the Lord has, man? Right? You really underestimate his power. The Lord will literally unalive you, you know, bring you back all lame, messed up. You know what I'm saying? You got your mind, but you can't walk and stuff like that, all, you know, so-called crippled and all the rest of that kind of stuff. Only to unalive you again, to have your body work, but your mind messed up. You know, and just keep repeating a process of punishments over and over again. You know?
And it goes speak into that, you know, a little bit more. It says, miracles. It says, "Will ye not tremble at my presence, which have placed sand for the bounds of the sea, by a perpetual decree that it cannot pass it, and though the waves thereof toss themselves, yet can they not prevail? Though they roar, yet can they not pass over it?"
And you know how violent the waters and the waves of these oceans and seas get, right? The world, you know, Earth is mostly made up of water, man. Alright, so you know how vicious and violent, how deep the waters is. The Lord, like, fear ye not me. I'm the one who keeping this. I'm controlling this. I'm holding this back, right?
Hey, majority of our bodies is
Made of water.
right?
Come on.
Hey, but you know, it's so crazy that he kept the waters, you know, bound with the sand. It's like, man, like you said, like the earth, you know, surrounded by what's in water, man, he could have just took us out. Could have took out everybody if he wanted to, just like this.
Well, that's why he did it.
Well, yeah.
That's why he did it. Yeah, first death, in the time I had him, man. But if you think about it, bro, if you look at it, if the laws wasn't holding the waters and shit back, bro, they could easily, the sand, it could easily just overpet. Bro, you ever saw tsunamis and shit like that? It could easily consume, you know, the land, bro. Easily.
That's a small thing.
Hey,
That's a real small thing.
Hey, but that's crazy to actually like see how a tsunami formed and all that, and how much like damage it do. Like it's just crazy.
But I got two more verses. It says, but this people has a revolting and a rebellious heart. They are revolted and gone. Neither say they in their hearts, let us not fear Yahweh our power, that give it rain, both the former and later in his season. He served unto us and appointed the weeks of the harvest. Yeah, reserve it unto us the appointed weeks of the harvest.
Yeah, and that's why the scripture said what? It's sottish, we're stupid, right? Like how you don't fear that? It says, neither say they in their heart, let us now fear the Lord, Yahweh our power, that giveth rain, both the former and the latter in his season, right? All this power that the Most High got, our people rather go serve Esau, bro. It don't make no sense, right? That's stupid, bro. How long will ye simple ones love simplicity? That's a real simple. That's what you heard. That's what you had said. You had. Kind of
This Proverbs 1. I'm gonna start at 20. It says, "Wisdom cried without; she uttered her voice in the streets."
and that's us. We're declaring the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, coming from the scriptures. the Bible. We're in the streets, the chief, the marketplaces, right? Where you people can hear us. Go ahead.
It says she cried in the chief place of concourse.
Yeah, the canals, you know, these famous streets and wherever
It's
the
heavy traffic.
heavy traffic with people, tourists. That's what a minute of the Lord at. Right? Go ahead.
It says, in the openings of the gates in the city, she uttered her words, saying, how long, you simple ones, will you love simplicity?
Go ahead, read it, bro.
That's spiritual, bro.
Yeah, she just said I don't understand. That's crazy. Read that over, bro.
Verse 21, it says, she cried in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates in the city. She uttered her words, saying, how long, you simple ones, will ye love simplicity?
And that's what, from the start of this camp, that's what we've been going into. Right? Our people not understanding, not hearing, not listening, right? We piping, singing a song, and them not dancing, right? They just don't understand, bro. So it's all coming back full circle. Keep going.
It says, and the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge.
You people hate knowledge. Y'all hate to know the dark truths of the Bible, man. Right? One of y'all brothers brought it out. I think it was you, Isaiah and Jeremiah, where it said, prophesied to us smooth things. Yeah. Because you hate knowledge, man. You hate the truth, ultimately. That's what I'm about to say. Ultimately, you hate Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Right? You got more?
Yeah. It says, turn ye at my reproof. Behold, I pour out my spirit unto you. I will make my words known unto you.
And how the Lord making his words known to you people? Via the prophets. Right? We the mouthpieces of the Lord.
It says, because I have called and ye refuse, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded.
The Lord is calling, right? He was calling by the prophets. He's stretching out his hand by the prophets, right? The men of the Lord, we're kind of like a beacon of mercy through the Lord, right? As long as his word going out, for the most part, the doors of mercy is still open, right? So the Lord is stretching out his hand. Keep going.
It says, but ye have said not all my counsel, and would none of my reproof.
And what y'all people do? Y'all mock, laugh, scorn. Keep going, just passing straight up, right? Y'all don't consider the Lord's reproof. Y'all don't consider that we're the men, right? Keep going.
It says, I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear comes.
Yeah, so the Lord gonna do the same thing to y'all. Right? As y'all was mocking and laughing at the prophets, they say, they got dresses on, they don't got no linings and all type of shit. Well, the Lord gonna do the same thing to y'all. Right? Keep going.
It says, when your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind.
So when these different, Jacob's trouble comes and these different horrific situations you get put in, where your life on the line, you running for your life, fearing for your life, the Lord gonna laugh and mock at you, right? Because when the doors of repentance, the doors of mercy was open, it said, y'all would none of my reproof. So y'all, that was just a spit in the face. Y'all just slapped the Most High hand down, right?
It says, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, it says, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer.
Yeah, then y'all gonna try to seek the Lord. Hey, what them dudes that we said that had dresses on, who used to be on the corner? Where they at? They was right this whole time. We need answers, but we ain't gonna be nowhere to be found.
But if I could say, because even now, when different things happen to people will say, oh, I don't believe in all that, right? But then as soon as something happened, what's the first thing they doing? They praying. But they didn't believe at first.
Now you believe.
Yeah.
I got a cousin that's atheist. I'll sneeze and say, God bless you. I said, you're atheist. Doesn't make sense. But that's just the natural nature. Even outside of he don't even know subconsciously he even doing it.
the fuck a nigga doing being an atheist anyway? That's some Edomite shit.
Yeah.
But I want to say this because you made a good point. A danger and perilous times make Jake turn back to the Lord. You know what I'm saying? But it's gonna be too late. Right now it's cool, calm, and collective. Right? They have some sort of comfort. You know, it might not be the best, but Jake could be comfortable. Right? They kind of safe. But once that safety net is taken away, now all of a sudden Jake gonna go buy a Bible. Jake gonna be putting the fringes on whatever they could find. You know?
Yeah, now you God fearing all of a
Yeah.
sudden. Come on. That don't make no sense, bro.
I'm a Hebrew, brother.
Yeah, let me finish the verse up. It says, then shall they seek me early, but they shall not find me. For that they hated knowledge and did not choose to fear the Lord.
God. Yeah, so they didn't choose to hearken unto the word. Right? So when they seek the Lord, the word ain't gonna be nowhere to be found. And ultimately, you know, the word is Yahushua, right? So in that day, when y'all trying to seek the Lord, you know, and look for a way out, look for some aid and some help, right? Yahushua ain't gonna be nowhere to be found for y'all. Right? Y'all just gonna have to suffer the consequences.
That's Jeremiah 15. They gonna ask, you know, whether shall we go? What should we do? And then our response gonna be, you know, basically all of those portions of that, man. The sword, captivity, famine, you know, the dogs to tell. That's our response. You know, that's what the Lord have for you. And it's true. What we gonna lie to you and say, all right, you could hurry up and nah, bro. Go take your punishment now.
Because like I said, the second Ezra, the 9th chapter.
No, I'm just saying, bro.
You know, let me get it.
Yeah, y'all
That's
get it.
right. You got that?
Y'all want to say too, man, because yeah, killing Jake is way quicker than trying to get Jake to get the understanding, man.
Yep.
But yeah, we trying to explain to Jake what's going on, man. And according to the scriptures, man, it'll be all day, man.
Bro, we brought it out in Isaiah 1. It said, why would you be stricken anymore? You're gonna revolt more and more. Like, that's why the Lord got to result in his punishment by fire, man. You just got to cut off 2/3 of our people. That's it.
Yeah, Jake gonna understand when you start getting to killing them.
Yeah.
Start beating their fucking ass, man.
Yeah,
That's what the Lord been ready to do through Esau.
Something is together.
Yeah, 'cause if we got to keep on teaching Jake, man, we'll never get in the kingdom.
We'll never
Never.
get him.
The universal language is violence.
Yes.
Everybody understands violence. I don't
Everybody
care
bow down to violence, brother.
what nationality you is, what sort of speech impediment, what sort of, you know, what you call them dudes?
What?
That's disability, right?
Mhm.
You gonna understand when that blood start coming out your head. You gonna understand something.
Y'all learn the hard way.
Yeah.
Man. Learn the easy way or the hard way.
The choice is yours.
Beautiful fact.
But not really though.
Yeah, not really.
You want that second Ezra? This second Ezra chapter 9, verse 9. It says, then shall they be in a pitiful case which now have abused my ways. And they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments.
Y'all gonna be in a pitiful case. Alright? Bro, when it's one thing for us to be saying it right now, and it's a whole other thing to actually be experiencing it and going through it. Bro, that's gonna be a pitiful case when all your worst fears and dread is upon you and you have nowhere to run or hide and nowhere to go. Like no power to call on. Right? Go ahead, bro.
It says, verse 10, for such have received in their life have received benefits and have not known me, and they that have loathed my law while they had yet liberty, and when as yet place of repentance was open unto them, they understood not, but despised it.
Con. And that place of repentance was open unto you people.
Yeah.
Right? But you just brought it out in the Proverbs 1. They were none of the reproof. They despised the word of the Lord. You want to see something?
Yeah, they were blind by those benefits they was getting, man, on this world. You know what I'm saying? They, even Jake the truth, man. You know, even Jake that know they're Israelites, man, hey, man, they don't want to, you know what I'm saying, fully come to the fold, man, because they, you know, they see those benefits, man. They want to keep the benefits of this world.
Con.
And then Kishon Moore said in that song, man, you know, I know I'm Israelite, no
call me black no more. These shit after that, there's money to get, bitches to hit.
Yeah.
That's
G.
Wow.
But that's Jake. That's Jake mindset. I know I'm an Israelite. You could ask majority of your motherfucking friends and family members, they're gonna say, oh, I know that already. Why? Because they had somebody that told them that place of repentance was there. That place of liberty. You see? But they're gonna say, I got man. I gotta get this money, son. I got shit going on, fam. I'm trying to get to some shit right now. You know, I'm gonna put it on the back burner, you know?
But that's why the scripture said what? My people do not consider.
Yep.
You would think it'll behoove somebody to say, damn, I got all this money, all these riches. Right? Who is my power? How can I please my power? Right? But they don't, right? Because they just consume with the filthy, how to say it, they consume by the cares of the world, by mammon, money, right? All these different things.
Yeah, but the scriptures tell you they have received their consolation on their side. Right? I got a
That
little
was
more.
their lot. Go ahead.
There's I read verse 11 again. I'm reading the GMT, and I'm gonna jump back to the KJV. It's 2 Ezra 9 and 11. It says, "It will include all those who scorned my law during the time they were free to do so, and all those who refused to repent when they still had the chance."
Read over.
It's 2 Ezra 9 and 9 in the GMT. It says, "Then those who have ignored my ways and held them in contempt will be surprised when they find themselves in a continual torment."
And that's what in that Proverbs 1, that's what they did. They ignored the word and the ways of the Lord. They ignored it, bro. Keep going.
And when something is in contempt, when you're in contempt of something, it means an open disregard or open disobedience. So you purposely disregarded the prophets, all right, the men that the Lord has set up to tell you, all right, of the coming judgment, all right, of the things that you need to do to repent and to get right with the Most High, man. You see? It says, to the act of despising or scorning for what is mean, vile, or worthless. And that's exactly how you feel about the truth, right? You think that the truth is worthless. You think that it's vile, man. Hey, man, you think the Lord fucking vile, man. You know? It says, that's pretty much it. I'm going to go back to the GNT. The 2 Ezra 9 and 9 in the GNT. It says, "Then those who have ignored my ways and held them in contempt will be surprised when they find themselves in a continual torment. This will include all those who ignored me while they were alive, even though I accepted the blessings I gave them." Even though they accepted the blessings I gave them.
Look at that, bro. The audacity of Jake to be surprised.
Yeah.
What you thought was gonna happen?
Yeah.
Come on, man. The Lord is gonna show people he ain't nobody to be played with, bro. At some point, the understanding gotta get understood, bro. Right? The scriptures talk about, what it say, Psalms 119 and 120, 126.
Oh, it's time for thee, O Lord,
To work, right? But the people gonna see when the Lord stop talking, right, through his prophets and start working. And it's going on right now, bro.
Yeah.
Look what's going on with the Northern Kingdom right now. ICE is on their ass. They in trouble, right? But we've been, preaching the word, saying the word of the Lord, but our people do not want to hearken and listen. Right? But now when shit start happening, they won't seek help. There ain't gonna be no help for you, no remedy. You wanna say something?
Yeah, and when the prophets stop talking and stop speaking and preaching his word, the silence gonna be real. Because whenever people walk by on a daily basis, they notice us. They notice everything that we be saying and stuff like that. So whenever all that stuff stops, they gonna, kind of catch on slowly. They gonna be like, man, where they at? Then they gonna start looking. Then after that, all this stuff will go on, and then it gonna get worse and worse from there.
And it's crazy, bro, because you know how often, people to stop you and be like, oh, that's
Such and such.
you be talking about the Bible, shit like that, but they don't really inquire. They don't try to see, like what it's about. Like what the word, the Lord, the word of the Lord is actually about. Like how they can receive salvation, right? Which that's why they just gonna be destroyed, bro. Right? We live in. Some of us live in the same household as people. That's just like you would be a man of the Lord in the house, and you would have people in the house who just complete niggas, bro. But a man of the Lord is literally living with you. Like the Lord, it's like the Lord literally living with you. Like through that man. But you a complete nigga. Don't talk about the people who got multiple family members in the truth. Like everywhere you got 2, 3, 4 family members in the truth, bro. But you still a complete nigga. Like, bro, the Lord, bro, he. Oh, man, let's bring
The servant that knew the Lord's will, he's gonna get beat with many stripes, man. This 2nd Ezra's 9, that's gonna be you. You're gonna be the one who's gonna be in a continual torment, man. You know? But I got a little more. You got it. It says it will include all those who scorn my law during the time they were free to do so, and all those who refused to repent when they still had the chance. 2nd Ezra's 9 and 12. The same must know it after death by pain.
Yeah. So however that that death by pain may come, alright, that's on you. I don't want the scriptures say what don't be curious on how the ungodly shall be.
Oh, it's say that right now. It's right there.
Go ahead. Absolutely.
This is verse 13. And therefore be thou not curious how the ungodly shall be punished and when, but inquire how the righteous shall be saved, whose the world is and for whom the world is created.
That tell you there's no hope for them people though.
Yeah.
Right? It's bro, the Lord like, bro, don't even worry about what's going on with them. They done. They cooked, brother. You need to be trying to see how you not gonna be like them. Get the same judgment as them. That's what you need to be worried about. You worried about them, you just gonna suffer the same fate as them, right? And we don't want to suffer that fate, right? So that's why we don't ignore the ways of the Lord, right? That's why we hearken unto His words.
And that message is for us too.
That's for us.
Don't be inquiring about how, what's gonna happen to my mama. What's gonna happen to my brother? What's gonna happen to my pops? Or what's gonna happen to my favorite cousin? My favorite uncle? Hey man, you inquire about salvation. You yourself. It say you what's that
Work out your own.
Quoted? You just quoted it?
Yeah. Work out your own salvation.
That's it. Yeah.
Philippians 22.
Bring it up.
This is Philippians 2 and verse 12. It says, wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling.
Yeah, work out your own salvation in fear and trembling. You gotta worry about you. You don't need to be worrying about what nobody else going on because you ain't saved yet, right? That's just like in high school or some shit. I remember I'll be helping one of my friends, or some shit like that. The teacher tell me like, focus on your own paper, your own work, right? We both in 5th grade. You ain't passed to the 6th yet. Yeah. Alright, do your own work. It's your own shit done. Alright? Tomorrow gonna take care of itself. Alright? So if it's of the Lord's will, those people, our loved ones get saved or come into the truth. Alright, that's between them and the Lord. Alright, we gotta focus on is our business with the Lord. Alright, being becoming a complete servant, right, and just doing the will of the Lord, man, taking it day by day until we get out of here, right?
And if I could say, that's coming into the truth 101. That's one of the first lessons they learn coming in this truth that you ain't even, you ain't over your own salvation. Yeah. Of course, Jake love their family, different friends in the world. We all have loved ones. Everybody in the truth have a loved one.
Everybody.
Okay. Yeah, it's concerning, but my first concern, my first priority should be this truth and me working on my salvation, right? Because through you, these people can be saved. There's a scripture, I believe it's in the gospel, I forget which one it is, but it tell you even a friend of a servant can be saved, man. Right? That friend that didn't transgress against you, he never confounded the truth, came against the truth, right? That person can be saved through you.
gave a couple
That's all I said. I was about to say that.
Yeah.
I'll grab it real quick.
Hey, but it's funny you say that too. That's becoming an Israelite 101, right? Because you know when you first head and you find out you're an Israelite, you won't bring everybody with you.
Everybody.
Everybody, bro. Your whole family, you won't bring everybody with you. But it's just the beginning of your walk. You're not even saved yet. Like, who's to say in a year, 2 months or so, you drop off the tree, right? So that's why we just gotta keep going in our feet, man.
You got that Matthew 10.
Oh,
I'm gonna start it for you, but I'm going to. It said, this is Matthew 10 and verse 40. It says, he that receiveth you receiveth me, and he that receiveth me receiveth him that sent me. It says, he that receiveth a prophet in the name of a prophet shall receive a prophet's reward.
Right. What you want to break it down? Yeah. Which the prophet reward is what? Salvation. So if you receive a prophet in a what?
You say receiving me. It says, he that receiveth a prophet in the name of a prophet shall receive a prophet's reward.
You see, so that just come like the brother was saying, just listening. You're not scoffing. You know, you actually believe. You know, I got ATs and shit that actually, you know, like I understand what you said. I believe what you said is true. You know, or even help. You know, but it said what you can receive that reward, right? And that all goes back to working out your own salvation. When I'm working on me, then you know maybe some of my family members might get saved. You know, y'all got it.
I would say too, it's even to a point to where even though they do get destroyed on this side, you might be the one to bring them back in the kingdom, man. So either way it goes, could be a man reunion again, man, in the kingdom.
Yeah, even if they don't get, bro, even if none of our loved ones get saved, we still gotta work out our own family tribute, right? Somebody, bro, you probably be the only one in your family to make it, right? So, but what you gonna do? You gonna drop out the truth? You gonna throw your salvation away because the Lord didn't choose some of your family members? No, that don't make no sense, right? We gotta work out our own salvation and family tribute, bro, right? We can't. They got the saying in the world: you can't take everybody with you, right? And that's the same thing with this truth. You can't take you might not be able to take your family with you. If that's not of the Lord's will, then it ain't gonna happen. You want to say something?
Yeah, I'll let you go first.
I just wanted to say, just like Superman, you can't save everybody.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Superman hated his life, brother. He hated his life.
Right, and I wanted to say that receiving goes into accepting.
Accepting.
Right.
Oh, I want to make a point on that too. Because you might have people in your family who they might not, directly worship the Lord and follow the ways of the Lord, right? But they might just love you and accept you. Knowing the work we do, knowing we believe in this, knowing we don't celebrate holidays, knowing we don't eat pork, knowing we don't take part in the things of the world and some of the things they do. They'll still love us and accept us and aid us and help us, right? So even with that, our family, they might not even have to serve the Lord, just straight up directly, right? They'll still be able to receive salvation just for receiving a prophet and accepting a prophet, right?
Because what do? We issue out the word, right? And it's a process of what? It's giving, right? So like you saying, there are certain things or certain aspects within a man, right, that they accept. They say, okay, well, I get this, I understand what you're talking about, even though they're not full, basically 10 toes to the line like how they're supposed to be. And it's all those little things that may help them have mercy by Yahweh Shalom Shadi.
I'm gonna finish this here. It says, and he that receiveth a righteous man in the name of a righteous man shall receive a righteous man's reward. And whosoever shall give to drink unto one of these little ones a cup of cold water, only in the name of a disciple, verily I say unto you, he shall in no wise lose his reward.
Yeah, so it's a reward in, just being a friend of the prophet, right? The Lord, if you're a friend of the prophet, we coming in the name of the Lord. You indirectly a friend of the Lord, man. Right. So you will receive salvation just because of that. The Lord will have mercy on you just because of that, right? It's not everybody, job to be a foot soldier, right? Everybody not gonna be on the front line, right? But you can have aid and help and support other places, they're still, they still help out with the battle, right? So they'll get saved too. Right? They'll get the salvation too. You want to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to say it, and that's what that verse is talking about. It's basically talking about somebody that helps, okay, or somebody that aids in a time of need, because the prophets are going to need things, man. And somebody out there, and maybe even many people, are going to receive blessings from Yahweh Shema Shah for aiding them in their time of need, that being that help.
Because you actually have people that believe, that watch the lessons, they watch videos, they may not come out, but they truly are sincerely believe.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord is going to escort certain men into situations where you might run into a believer, right? And they're going to do what? They're going to help, right? You see? Well, you might be in a dire situation. And, hey, man, the Lord will have it happen that way, and that's how they get their reward. You see? It's heavy, man.
Yeah.
You got it.
I was going to say, the Lord had you cross paths with somebody that's been watching you forever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But he or she or whatever just couldn't make it out for whatever purposes, whatever reasons. But the Lord had you, and that man or that woman, right, they may know you and be able to tell, things about yourself. Or I seen your channel. I remember this video, and and then everything just falls into place from there.
Yeah, don't go this way. It's a concentration. They got a concentration camp. A sea camp. It's a lot. Damn, bro. We can't say nothing, bro. Damn, bro. But it's a sea camp down that way. Go this way. They got food here. They got water here. This and that. Right? But they did their work. Right? Their work might not have been our work, but it was for the truth's sake, though. Right? It was the Lord's will.
Yeah, I wanted to say something real quick. They had a brother that had a testimonial. He was on a run, basically, from out of the clutches of Esau, man. And there was just tribulation everywhere, all hell breaking loose, gunfire, everything just erupted. But he said he was on a run with a brother he didn't even know, but he knew that he was in the truth. He said, I didn't know this guy, but I know that he was either amongst the body or he knew of the truth, and me and him was together. You know what I'm saying? Which that goes back into what? The Lord just bringing two people together that just like-minded,
Yeah, you could. You get. But bring out the precept. You get that.
This second Peter 1:10, and it says, wherefore rather give diligence to make your election, to make your calling election sure. For if ye do these things, you should never fall. And the reason why I wanted to get it, because it says give diligence to make your calling election sure, so that you can't save everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like if you do your work, do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all saying, the Lord would be able to save those people. But you gotta put yourself first. You gotta do the work. You gotta do these things, in order to let that happen.
Yeah, it say make your calling election sure. So it goes to show you can't save. Right? So that's why you gotta worry about yourself. Cause the Lord, like, bro, I'm saving you. You can't even save yourself. So how you gonna worry about, somebody else's salvation?
Yeah, it said make your calling election sure, because in the day you call, you're not chosen yet.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It said give diligence because many are called but few are chosen.
Yeah.
So many of us are calling this thing of ours, man, but yet in the day on that few is gonna have that chosen spot, man, of salvation, man. So all of us being that few that chosen, man, we gotta give diligence, man. We gotta make calls. Right now we're in audition, man, for salvation.
Yep.
We're in audition, man. Or we're in the tryouts, in a sense, man, of being joint heirs we have a shot, man.
Yep.
So man, all of us to make to that spot, we gotta give diligence, man.
Yeah, you made a point because we were called. Like it's been many who have been called, right?
Yeah.
That's just like when it says somewhere in the scriptures, it might be in Matthew. It's like when you cast a net into the sea, like you get some good fish, you get bad fish, right? Some you gotta cast back out. Right? They might have been caught, called then or caught, but they weren't chosen. Right? The ones that you keep, the good fish, those are the ones that's chosen. That's chosen.
I got that.
That brother say something.
Yeah, another thing too, I got to think about too is these troubling times we're coming through, Jake, it's trouble, great tribulation. Man, the Lord finna try us. Our faith is truly finna be tested.
we can say, a man can say how much he believe in the Lord, but when your faith getting tested, when you get put in a dire situation, when your fucking head finna be chopped off, you in hunger, you traveling, man, the Lord he finna max out our faith, bro, see if we truly believe. Till that, bro, it's gonna get very critical. You know
And
what I'm
that
saying?
going to that point, me and Kabos made about being called. Because Lord willing, all of us, in this camp, of course, Lord willing, all of us are the elect,
Yeah.
right? But we gonna see because the race ain't over, right? So when those things happen, like that get brought upon us, like you said, some men might cop out, but they were called, but some men might not have been chosen. But we don't know yet because the end is not yet.
Yeah, that's why we're not supposed to waste our time trying to get people to get it. You know what I'm saying? Because they use our time to prepare ourselves for that time coming, man. For the times of trouble. So, hey, man, when that day come, man, we'll be up that chosen, man. We didn't do it. So we can be up that chosen, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, and this is going back, to the point we was talking about that topic, helping a prophet or being a friend of the prophet.
This Joshua 2.
And real quick disclaimer, right? Rahab, she wasn't an Israelite, all right? She wasn't of the nation. She's a heathen, all right? But we are saying this can happen to those who actually believe and help the prophets that's of an Israelite line, because the Lord is not coming back to save any heathen. Jacob say, oh, well, you said Rahab got saved, so maybe this Edomite could get saved. No, that's not what we're saying. All right? Go ahead, bro. This is a quick disclaimer.
Even if she got quote unquote saved or rewarded, that ain't the salvation that we talking about.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna get saved like that and get a heathen getting on the fucking church.
Yeah.
Stop it. Something is uncool. Come on, man. Go ahead.
It's Joshua 2 from the top. It says, and Joshua, the son of Nun, sent out of Shittim 2 men to spy secretly, saying, go view the land, even Jericho. And they went and came into an harlot's house named Rahab, and lodged there. And it was told the king of Jericho, saying, behold, there came men in hither tonight of the children of Israel to search out the country.
All right, so they had persecutors seeking after them, right? That's just how that's gonna be some brothers' instances, right? In the time to come in Jacob's trouble, right? Because the prophets gotta get persecuted. Okay, keep going.
It says, and the king of Jericho sent unto Rahab, saying, bring forth the men that are come to thee, which are entered into thine house, for they be come to search out all the country.
So the king of Jericho, those guys who you house, where they at? Right?
It says, and the woman took the 2 men and hid them, and said thus, there came 2 men unto me, there came men unto me, but I wish not whence they were.
Yeah, so she played stupid like she didn't know what it was at, what he was talking about, right?
It says, and it came to pass about the time of shutting of the gate, when it was dark, that the men went out. Whither the men went, I would not pursue after them quickly, for ye shall overtake them. But she had brought them up to the roof of the house.
So she had lied, right? She said they went out, they left, right? But in reality, she was doing what? Keep reading.
It says, but she had brought them up to the roof of the house and hid them with the stalks of flax, which she had laid in order unto the roof, upon the roof.
So she really just hid them, in the roof, right?
Yeah. It says, and the men pursued after them the way to Jordan unto the fords. And as soon as they which pursued after them were gone out, they shut the gate. And before they were laid down, she came up unto them upon the roof. And she said unto the men, I know that the Lord had given you the land, and that your terror is fallen upon us, and that all the inhabitants of the land faint because of you. For we have heard how the Lord dried up the waters of the Red Sea for you when ye came out of Egypt.
Just jump to 12. She basically saying, you know, we heard the marvelous works that the Lord did for you, right? And that's why she understood to hide them in hopes that she would obtain something from them for doing that.
But yeah, I want to say because it's gonna have people like that, in the time to come. Because what she believed,
Exactly.
she said she heard, but the reason for her, after her hearing this shit or whatever like that, the reason for her hiding them was because she actually believed.
Exactly.
Despite her being a heathen or whatnot, that ain't the point. The point is she believed and she aided, some men of the Lord, right? And she was going to receive a reward for that. Keep going.
Verse 12. It says, Now therefore I pray you, swear unto me by the Lord, since I have shewed you kindness, that ye will also shew kindness unto my father's house, and give me a true token.
Keep reading.
Verse 13 it says, And that ye will save alive my father and my mother and my brother and my sisters and all that they have, and deliver up our lives from death. It says, And the men answered her, Our life for yours. If ye utter not this our business, and it shall be, when the Lord had given us the land, that we will deal kindly and truly with you.
So she helped out, the nation of Israel, right? And so she had them or whatever, right? She stopped the persecutors from persecuting them, and then she asked for something, right? She was like, save my family, right? And they said what? But that's why I said you got a prophet's reward, right? But in that instance, it's a little bit different. But the point, right, is that you will get a reward for even
Helping the prophet.
aiding the prophet, man. That's the point, right? You will get that might be your work for salvation. All right, that might be what the Lord required of you to get it. All right.
I got something to back it up.
Come with it.
It's Joshua 6:16. It says, And it came to pass at the seventh time, when the priest blew the trumpets, Joshua said unto the people, Shout, for Yahweh had given you the city, and the city shall be accursed, even it and all that are in, to the Lord Yahweh. Only Rahab the harlot shall live, she and all that are with her in the house, because she had hid the messages that we sent. You see? Got it.
Yeah. So in that instance, Rahab was saved, right? But on this go around, that being saved, that salvation, you gonna be saved for from the nuclear missile, man, right? Because she was a heathen, bro. So she ain't get that kind of salvation. But the point is the point, right? You have
I had a go into
the brother died. Just call him out.
going into the what we went into earlier, location or whatever. This is Ephesians 4 and verse 1. It says, I therefore the prisoner of the Lord, right? And I just want to say real quick, we're basically prisoners of Yahweh Shem Al Shah too. All the people that's of the elect, and especially the prophets, right? The 144K, they feel compelled to do this work, man. Compelled to do the work. Okay, when you're not doing it, you feel off, right? The spirit is always uneasy, man. Okay, and it says, I therefore the prisoner of the Lord beseech you that ye walk worthy, right, of the vocation right? Which is the calling. It says, wherewith ye are called, man. So we're basically all given, you know, basically job assignments, so to speak, within this ministry, right? And I believe the scriptures go into that. Some brothers may have a little bit more faith than another. Some brothers have spiritual gifts of healing, right? Some brothers are keen to the mysteries. Some brothers are keen to the prophecies, right? But the Lord say, walk worthy of that vocation, man, which basically means what the brothers were saying earlier, you know, make your calling and election sure, man, right? Maximize your talent, okay, within this ministry.
Yeah, whatever it may be, right? Like we was talking about, you might be somebody get the penny, bro. About the
Yeah, Matthew 20.
yeah.
You want me to
I
start?
got one.
Go ahead, yeah.
There's a secondary chapter 8, verse 33. For the just, which have many good works laid up with thee, shall out of their own deeds receive reward. So that's right, man. It said out of your own deeds you can receive the reward, man. So hey, basically got to put in the work on your own, man. You got to put in your own work, man. You know, so because of course, hey, man, we're our brothers. Man, they, man, we got to make sure, hey, man, we doing the work for ourselves, man. You know, we got to make sure, hey, man, we have enough faith for ourselves, man, to get through that day, to receive that reward. You know? Yeah, they, man, we all just here to, hey, man, help each other, man. Receive salvation, man. Give each other on the chariot, man.
And everybody, come on. And everybody ain't gonna be an elder, apostle, even an officer, right? You might be a brother who just, you know, you just do the work. You know, you're a regular soldier. You don't have no, you know, probably authority or nothing like that in the camp. Being an officer or elder or the second in command, right? But you working towards that same penny, right? Your works are still being accounted for. Somebody go hold Hebrews 10. 6 and 10, 6 and 10, I believe, right? But we still working for that towards that same goal, right?
I was going to back you up with this precept real quick, right? And this goes into the spiritual gifts that the Lord gives out, right? But he, like the brother was saying, he gave them what? He gave them different offices, okay? And this is Ephesians. I'm gonna kind of go straight to the point. All right, this is Ephesians 4 and 11, right? It says, and he gave some apostles and some prophets and some evangelists, pastors and teachers, right? So these are all men within the body of the truth. But like I was saying, given different offices, man. Not everybody's going to have the same lot, okay?
Like I said in Daniel 12, go down with Daniel and you go stand in thy light at the end, you know?
But this is the purpose of those different lots. It's going to tell you in the next scripture.
And that going to what we were just going into too, though. You know, our lots, right? Because, you know, being a friend of the prophet, that might just be your lot. Right? They got the lot of, you know, the soldiers who on the front line, the men of the Lord, or the prophets, right? And then you got the lot, right, of the friends of the prophets. Right? That's a lot too. Because just like the wicked on his side, they receive their consolation, right? The righteous have too, right?
Right, verse 12, and it says this is their purpose, man. It says for the perfecting of the saints, right? For the work of the ministry. It says for the edifying of the body of Hamashiach. So that's their purpose, man. The Lord had all these different men set up, and because of the scriptures tell you that every man has got to come in his own order, okay? So the Lord he has elders, he has bishops, you know what I'm saying? He's got, the regular brother that's just teaching, but he's, what you gonna say something?
I would say, man, all that's for the benefit of the ministry, man. Not for ourselves, man. Not so we get puffed up, man. You know what I'm saying? Now let's puff it up. No. We all got this gift, man. You know, of the ministry, man. So hey, man, we can benefit each other, man. The body. So we all can make it, man, to salvation.
Right, kind of. One more verse. It says, so we all come in the unity of the faith, right? And it says, and of the knowledge of the Son of the power, it says, unto a perfect man, right? Because that's what this is all. That's what this truth is about. It's about slowly perfecting yourself so you could be acceptable to Yahweh Shema Shai. But it's through the word, though.
Yeah,
You
build
know?
each other up, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because some brothers, man, strengths. Our strengths, man, help our weaknesses, man.
Yeah, but that's why I said unity.
Yeah, unity, man.
Unity means to be one, right? So think about, and then it says something about being perfect. At the end, right? So think about boxing, a perfect, complete fighter. Like he got the stamina, he got the speed, he got the power, he got the mind. He just got everything, every aspect, of being a perfect, complete boxer, boxing, right? When you look at, the house, a ministry, a house of a camp, right? You got all different men who got different skills in certain things, right? You got men who got weaknesses, right? But the men with different skills and the men with different weaknesses, right? They lift each other up because one is weak at, one is strong at, right? So it makes us perfect and complete, right? And unity, one.
That's the
Right.
that's the righteous balance.
Come.
Yeah, just a little bit more.
Yeah.
Okay, Khan, it says, unto the measure of the statute of the fullness of a Mashiach. So there's the Lord is basically the Lord sets the bar, right? And so all of us basically have to strive to even try to reach or touch the bar, right? The scriptures say basically, be ye therefore perfect, right? As my Father in heaven is perfect, right? So that's what we're doing now. We're basically just striving for perfection, man. You got it.
God, this is Hebrews 6 and verse 10, and it says, "For the Most High is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love, which ye have shewed toward His name, and that ye have ministered to the saints and do ministry."
Yeah. So all those things we just spoke about, right? Being a friend of a prophet, a helper, a aid to a prophet, right? To even being a prophet, right? And making having the skills and the strength to strengthen your brother, right? Making the ministry one in unison, right? All those is labor of love and work to the Most High, which He said He won't forget it, right? So that's going to be counted to you for righteousness, right? And if you continue, you keep the faith, ultimately you're going to get the reward of what? Salvation.
Paul said, everything I do for the elect's sake. And so we're coming in like manner. Everything we do, right, is for Yahweh Shema Shai, but it trickles down to what? The elect, that they may hear the word and be sealed, in the spirit.
Yeah, nobody got anything else. Yeah, so with that, hopefully this live, camp today was edifying and to the point. Before we get out of here, we want to give infinite honors and praise to Yahweh. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopefully elect. A Bible ball.